This composition and video are sponsored by Wizards of the Coast.